Okay, here we go. Alright, so this past week's been pretty busy work-wise, so I really haven't spent a lot of time in here. I spent some time in here yesterday doing little odds and ends, things that need to be done, but you kind of put off all the time because it's a little thing, but these little things add up to big things. So, a couple quick things. I corrected the hose ends for the heater hose, something I showed you last week. I also used some separators on here to neaten up the hose. All this is not done yet. It's the hoses are on. They're no longer mocked up. They're actually on. The hose separators are on, but I just got to find a way to kind of attach them to this larger AC hose and kind of go from there. The AC hoses are off as I started putting the cover, the braided cover, and it is actually real braided steel. So it's made by, I believe it's Mr. Gasket. Let's take a look. Yes, just a little kit from Mr. Gasket. I did not use the blue ends, of course, but I haven't been able to find anywhere where I could just buy the cover. I haven't been able to find it. I saw this Summit one time that you call up and you order it by the foot, but I just haven't been able to find it again. But then again, did I really look? Probably not. But anyway, getting back to the cover. So this cover is pretty decent. So what I'm going to do on the air conditioning lines is I'm actually on the ends, and I'll take the camera off for a little while and we'll get a closer look. So on the ends, I think I'm just going to go with, and I already ordered it, the heat shrink. And that'll just clean up the end, because putting an actual fitting on the end of this is going to look totally stupid. So a little bit of just to clean up and tighten it up on the hose here. I think the shrink tubing is going to be our best bet. It's going to look the best. And so little odds and ends. A lot of the odds and ends that I did, you're not going to really be able to see. I had to extend a few wires. One of them being the temperature sensor switch. I went ahead and I extended that, and I extended that by using these little mini. I think I showed you these last week, but these little tiny mini connectors. And this way, by using that little mini, I could use a small piece of shrink tube and still fit it inside the wire loom that I'm using, the cloth wire loom, without leaving all these ugly bumps and, it looks like we did it and ran. So, let me just move these here. So on the wires that are next to the headers, especially in the starter area, and also the, I did the lines for the transmission, and they were a little bit long, and I was going to cut them and finish them up, but I decided to throw a loop in there instead, just to give you a little bit of extra cooling. And also what I did was I needed to separate part of that from the header, and also I had to separate some wires from the header, and that's where this stuff comes in handy. And I believe I showed you this, many videos ago. But it's just a heat resistant, kind of like a little blanket. And when it folds, you can fit up to like 3/4 of an inch. But it folds and it basically Velcros together, and hard to do when you're not on a flat surface, but just an idea. So basically it folds, you Velcro it, stays together, and then that gives you the opportunity to tie wrap it. Now obviously you're not going to want to use plastic tie wraps, and that's where these things come in, and these things are great, and they're very strong, and that's where this stainless steel tie wrap comes in. Loops through, it's nice and flat here, there's nothing bulky about it, and there's actually a gun that came with this that it'll actually tighten it up super tight. And I do have the gun. I think I showed you again many videos ago. Let's look at it again. And it takes a little knack to figure out how to use this gun. So basically, you use the gun. This was part of that package. I believe it was free as part of that package, because the package was fairly inexpensive. I found it on Amazon. This lever here, once you get it nice and tight, you hit that lever and it cuts it for you. and it leaves a really nice edge. Actually leaves no edge, so you don't got to worry about catching your hands or fingers on anything. Whereas the Mr. Gasket hose cover, wear gloves. If you don't have rough hands like mine, wear gloves. It's going to hurt. So, like I said, lots of odds and ends today, yesterday. Today I'm going to try to finish up these hoses. I believe the shrink tubing will be here today. I'll get that all wrapped up and everything under this hood except for the radiator hose. The bottom one I'm not going to wrap. You can't even see it. So the top one I'm going to wrap. The bottom one also has so many intricate curves to it that's going to be next to impossible to wrap, and it probably wouldn't even look that good. So this one here, I just need to find a covering that fits. This kit said radiator, but unfortunately my radiator hose is a little bit bigger, so I'm going to have to figure something out for that. And on the hose I'll use the black ends, and I want to give a little shout out. And again, I pay for everything, no one supplies anything for free for me. This company here, Evil Energy. I tried them on a whim, and their products are actually really good. They're durable, and the price is fair. And I'm gonna equate it to, I would say, the Summit version of fittings and hose clamps and things like that, aluminum parts. And I would say these are equivalent, maybe a step better. Let me grab one here that's out of the package. So basically, here's the clamp. It's again just an aluminum clamp. It comes with the hex head. They tighten up really well, so they don't strip out. You can put a little crank on them and they won't strip out. And I've had some good luck with them. They also make some fittings. The packaging is cool. It comes in a nice packaged envelope, nice, insulated, and everything inside is individually wrapped, so this way it doesn't get scratched. And the other cool part is they take the time out to give you, the proper Allen wrench that goes with their fittings, so this way you don't have to go through your toolbox if you don't have one, whatever. It comes as a ready-to-install fitting, which is really nice. And again, they give you that Allen wrench for anything that requires it. I believe I have some of their fittings here too. Let me see if I can find one here. Let's see what we have here. So, this was a cap that I bought. And again, Evil Energy. And this is nothing more than just a cap. Again, individually packaged. It's in a nice, cushioned envelope, properly marked, so you can put them in your little box or drawer or whatever, and just quickly look and see what it is, so you know what you're grabbing. And like I said, I want to give them a big shout out because their products impressed me, and the way I found them is I needed a fitting and I wanted it quick. I didn't want to wait 3 days, whatever. And a lot of these are available on Amazon and they come the next day. So I was in a jam with one of these fittings. I can't remember exactly which one it was. But I said, you know what, let me just try. Worst scenario. I did order one from Summit anyway, but I ended up ordering one on Amazon through, through Evil Energy. And it came, and I looked at it. The weight is there compared to fittings. I got a ton of fittings here. So I found an equivalent, size fitting, and the weights were about equivalent. The Evil Energy might have been a touch heavier. I should have weighed them. But for the most part, I've had so far no problems. And of course, long term, we'll see if that, I think I got 3 fittings on here, maybe 4 fittings that are Evil Energy, and we'll see how they do. I mean, the worst thing is a leak. You change, and it's quick to change, so it's not a big deal. But I think we're going to be okay with those. And like I said, the quality seems to be there. The packaging is really good, and the individual packing inside is great, and you get your little sticker with everything you buy. And they make a lot of other stuff too. I've used some of their products. I've used them, on just regular work, and one of them was it was an adapter. I needed a 2.5 to 3 adapter for an exhaust, and again, you know, the auto parts don't necessarily have this stuff on the shelf, whatever, and I needed a lot of them for a project that we were doing. So I went ahead and I ordered them, again, Amazon, got a gigantic box of them, I think it was in 1 day, 2 days tops. And, you know, when you took them out, the quality was there, heavy gauge material, fit like a glove. If you needed to expand it a little, you could have, but these actually just fit right on. I didn't have to expand any of them. So, again, I didn't realize they were Evil Energy till I remember when I got the box. I remember the sticker and I was like, oh wow, okay, I've used them before. So, again, if you're in a jam, you need a fitting right away, go to Amazon, Evil Energy, you'll find what you're looking for. They have a store on there too, so you could actually go in and look for what you actually want if you can't find it immediately on the Amazon page. And again, I pay for everything here. No one has contributed anything to me. Nobody's giving me any money for anything. These are my experiences, and you know, just to let you know, if you're in a jam, you can get a fitting fairly quick. The Summit products are great. I've had no issues with those. Matter of fact, I just bought my exhaust. I just ordered it. And let me tell you exactly which one I ordered. So let me just kind of read it off my notes here so I don't give you the wrong information. And, you know, I kind of did a lot of research, and it was all YouTube research. No one I know around here has this stuff. So I went with the MagnaFlow Street Series Performance Exhaust System. The part number for my car was 15894, and it's going to give me a throaty sound. It's not going to be real loud. It's not going to vibrate in the cab that much. You know, I just turned 62, and believe me, I don't need all that noise. My ears are shot from years ago. And so basically, it'll be a throaty car. It'll sound good. From what I heard on the YouTube videos, it's kind of the sound I'm looking for, you know, throaty, a little deep, but not deep towards vibrating the whole car. And any of you guys that might already have these types of systems, you know what I'm talking about. Also, it'll fit in a stock location, supposedly using stock mounts with very minimal adaptation, if any. So that's another plus right there. And it's all stainless steel. I think it's 304 stainless. Oh, actually, why don't I just read it? I can tell you exactly what it is. Or actually, you know what? That was just a picture that I had, but wait a minute. I'll tell you right now. 409 stainless, so it's a good quality stainless steel. And even though I'm in a controlled environment in here with heated floors, air conditioning, dehumidifiers and all that, exhaust systems sitting around, they still somehow make a decision to rock. So stainless steel won't do that. So we'll be good there. So let me pop the camera off and just show you a couple little things that I did yesterday to try to keep moving forward. Weekly disclaimer, not a cameraman. That's why you gotta take seasick pills when I'm moving around with this camera. So anyway, this is just black tape on here right now. That's just black tape, but just to give you an idea of how I'm going to use the heat shrink just to kind of finish the end here. I'm going to try to get it as close as possible to the end of the fitting, and I'll probably come out about 1.5 inches, 2 inches tops, just to kind of get away from the frayed end and all that fun stuff, because the product is pretty decent. It feels like metal to me, and it cuts like metal. And see how it gets a little frayed on the end there? And you know, I'm just going to put a little stretch to it. I got to pull it a little bit so it doesn't bunch up in the middle here. And then we'll heat shrink it down. Hopefully it'll stay. You know, I might even throw a piece of tape, the electrical tape on there to hold it in place while I heat shrink it. It won't hurt anything. So, again, here we go with Evil Energy. And I found these black clamps instead of the chrome ones I had on there last week, and also the clamp inside, the worm clamp, is actually a much better quality than the ones I had prior. And I forget what brand were they. I don't remember the brand now. I don't have the box anymore. But Spectra, I believe it's called Spectra. But these here, number one, they're black, so they match everything else. The clamp inside, the worm gear clamp, is way better. It tightens right up, and I feel way more secure with these. And that's one of the reasons also I wanted to give a shout out to Evil and let you guys know about it if you don't already know about it, is because they gave me a sense of security once I put those on that these aren't going to blow off once I start the motor, go down the road, and have all kinds of headaches. You know, I was going to originally eliminate the heater core, but, you know, those fall nights sometimes get a little cool, and you want to do, you know, you like to drive with the windows down, you know, so, you know, you need a little bit of heat blown there, so this way you can look cool. So here we go again. I can get this one a little closer, but you see, the edge isn't really bad, but again, a nice finished piece of the heat shrink will really make it look good. And these clamps here actually are all energy clamps, because it was like a last minute thing. Ordered them, I had them the next day. Even though I didn't use them the next day, they were still here, and I knew I had, you know, I had something to work with come that Saturday or Sunday, because it's the only time I really come in here. And there's a lot of other things that I did, like for instance, if you look really close here, I put my cover, I extended this wire, and I used proper green wire. I used those little connectors that I showed you, and I put a piece of heat shrink tubing over the connection that I made. And you know, that number one keeps it from shorting. Also, it gives it a little bit of strength, so this way you don't have to worry about it. So basically, I made, and again, it's hard to see because everything's black, but the little piece, just a little bit on the connector back. I put a piece of heat shrink there just to kind of tighten it up, finalize it, and just make it look a little bit neat. And it came out really nice. Again, probably a little hard to see, but it starts right about here on the connector, works its way back to about here. So that's what? That's like, you know, like 2 inches, 1.5 inches. And it just made it nice and neat, and it gave it a little bit of durability. So when I pull it off, I don't have to worry about things fraying. The one place I did not do it, because basically there was no way to do it, is on this connector I made on the alternator. So I just kind of cleaned it up and got it down in here. So, you know, again, it's not a show car. I'm just trying to make it as neat as I can make it. And the same here. You know, I didn't put a piece of heat shrink there. And, you know, I could probably still do that one. Just, you know, pop this off here, work the heat shrink on there, and then have it come into the cover, into the boot. So I could probably still do that one, which I probably will. Maybe I'll do that today. So basically, you know, I'm just trying to do these little things to neaten stuff up. And, you know, I don't mind the mechanical look, you know, with hoses and, you know, the firewall having stuff on it. I don't mind that at all. Because, again, you know, it's a hot rod. And it's not a show car, so we're not trying to hide everything. But the one thing that I do like hiding, and that's the wiring. Boy, do I hate wires. Here's another evil energy clamp right here to separate the battery cables. So what I'm going to do here, and I already did it, I drilled a hole already. I have some longer screws coming, and I'm just going to mount that right there. So this way it'll keep the cables from flopping around and, you know, possibly causing any damage if something shorts out or whatever. Because you got to remember, this thing is rumbling all over the place. So you're not going to really be able to see, but I extended the oil pressure cable or line or wire or whatever you want to call it. But I also added shielding on it because it's right there by the header. So I shielded it, and I also clamped it up really, really tight with the metal tie wraps that I showed you. And I still have it away from the header, but it's pretty close. So, you know, I definitely went ahead and I heat shielded that. And let's get back down in here. Let's see, we can look underneath here. It's going to take me a second to get underneath here. I'm an old man. Okay. So what I did is I used some of these evil energy lines here. Some of these hose separators, and ran it underneath where it normally does under the motor, back to the transmission, some more separators there. I made a nice loop using the separators. We're not going to be able to see that though because it's all tucked away. And you know, for the most part, everything is staying neat. You know, is everything show quality? Nope. Do I want it show quality? No. If I was building a show car, it'd be a whole different story. You know, it would be a trailer queen. This is a car that's going to be on the road. And again, you know, I chose the path of, buying everything fairly new, but this shouldn't discourage anybody from wanting to get into hot rods, get into some of these classic cars. You can work with what you have in the car already. You don't have to spend crazy money like I did. I just made this choice to do this. But you can do the same results. A lot of elbow grease and time. Of course, you got to have time, and you could actually work on it while you still drive it. And that's what I used to do with this car. I would drive it, and on the weekend I would spend some time on it, get it ready for the weekend night cruises, and it was always a work in process. But again, you don't have to spend this crazy money like I did here to create a nice car. You can just repair what you have, clean it up, a little bit of chrome here and there, or even just spray bombs, just paint everything, and just as long as it's nice and clean and neat, these cars are cool no matter what. So again, I'm trying to encourage people into getting into hot rodding, so it doesn't become one of those dead hobbies that no longer exist or get too expensive to exist. But again, I took many years on saving up to buy what I had to buy. The only things that I bought that were more recent would be like the fuel injection. I didn't want to buy that from 10 years ago. I wanted to wait till I got close to starting this project in order to have something that's still fairly recent. And right now that is still, the downdraft is still fairly recent. And originally I was going to go with a Hillborn mechanical system, but that's too much of a project to do for a street car. Yes, it can be done. Don't let anyone tell you it can't. It can be done, yes. But again, it's a lot of work. So I chose this route. And again, I chose the route of spending money, which I've been saving for, I bet you, close to 20 years to really, really put this money into this car. So it's not like something that I just started dumping money into. I actually created a little fund. I got to a certain point in that fund and I said, okay, it's time to pull the trigger, and any nickel and dime stuff that comes up, I actually still have money in that fund to finish this car up. So it's more important to pay your bills and to pay all your stuff and make sure you take care of your family and everything else before you take any money and spend it on a car. So you can still have a cool car without spending this kind of money. The choice is yours. If you have a plan, like I had a plan, and I also knew that I was going to do a few projects, and a lot of the projects that I'm going to be getting into after this one rolls out of here, hopefully this will start in a few weeks. I keep saying that. It sounds like the money pit. 2 weeks. But I'm waiting for the exhaust. I just got to get a couple plugs in there. Got to phase the rotor. I want to do it once I get it on the wheels because it's just too high up to do an efficient job. And really, I just got some on-and-in stuff before I could turn that key and fire it. Right now, I could turn the key. It actually will prime the fuel injection. You'll see the pressure come up on the gauge. So computer-wise, we're pretty much all set. I do have to change some parameters on there. I just want to read through the manual and make sure that I'm doing the right choices, because some of them are they're like a little iffy the way that it comes about. You got to really read and go through that manual to make sure you don't make the wrong choice, because then if it's running like crap, you're sitting there wondering why, and you'll be like, oh gee, but I chose everything correctly. Now obviously, most likely you didn't. So I'm going to read, and I'll set my parameters, based on what I read, and hopefully I don't make a mistake. Nobody's perfect. Mistakes happen. And once it fires, we'll see if we have any leaks. Anything is possible, no matter how hard you try. There's always going to be a leak there, to kind of get you. What else? I think that's about it. I haven't done anything else real crazy because I haven't had the time. But I just wanted to definitely keep these videos going, just to keep everybody interested in hot rodding. Let's put this back on a stand and we'll finish up. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish this up. So basically, like I said, not a lot got done, but a lot of the little stuff got done. A lot of the wire extension and doing all that, neatening everything up, putting the heat blanket on the wires, getting underneath there, Getting that chrome cover on, that was a little bit of a project. You would think it was easy, just put it on and screw it in, but unfortunately I had to kind of twist it, move it, and catch all the bolts, and I used all the OEM bolts for that. Just they were chrome plated. And basically, I don't know how well that thing went on. I don't know if it's going to rub against anything. It doesn't look like it will, but who knows? It's an aftermarket part, so problems are always anticipated, and hopefully we don't have problems. So I guess that's about it. I might work on wiring the fans today and starting to get that in order as I'm waiting for my heat shrink, which should be here in the next few hours. I got to do a little bit of research. As I said, I need the covering for this hose, plus two black ends. And again, if I can't find them on Summit, whatever, I know I can get them on Evil Energy. I just got to figure out what dash number they are. And that's about it, guys. So, you know, again, if you're ever in a jam, you need those fittings quick, Evil Energy. And again, nobody pays me for this. It's just my experiences and what I found. And if I could find, you know, if I could just kind of give you guys an idea of how to get out of a jam or whatever, if you don't already know, now you know. And I found the products to be good. The packaging is what impressed me. I think it's one of the best packagings I've seen. The envelope itself, these little cushions in it, and the individual packaging inside. The extra thought of giving you, not that it's a great tool, but it's a tool. And it fits perfectly and it works. And it's only got to work that one time to put everything together, and it's good to throw in your toolbox and you have it for next time. You know, even though I got a million of these in name brand, who cares? When you get the kit, it's actually a kit. And that's a little bit, I would say, impressive. You know, they thought about the little things. So how many times did you get something and you're so excited to install it and you take it all out and you don't have this stupid thing or any type of tool to do the job? Now you got to stop. Hopefully Home Depot has it, or Lowe's, or wherever. You know, the tool guy will probably have it, but tool guys are usually not working on a Saturday or Sunday when you're working on your car. So to me, this here was a plus. And again, like I said, I'll show you, I have tons of them. I'm off camera there for a second. You know, I have them in like just a basic kit like everybody has. I also have the T-handle ones. I got tons of these. I also got them in the jackknife style. So, you know, I have them, but to get it in a kit is great. So I guess that's about it, guys. So, you know, hopefully I'll get a little bit more done today. Yesterday was a real heavy, hot day for me, so I'm kind of beat, and I'm not going to go too crazy in here today, but I'm going to try to get some more of these odds and ends out of the way, so this way it's done. I want to try to get these hoses all wrapped up, back in place, and I'm at the point where I'm probably going to throw a vacuum on the AC system, just to make sure that it goes to the vacuum, it holds, and I don't have any problems. So we're going to probably do that today, hopefully today or hopefully Saturday, because I think next Saturday might be a lighter day for me. I mean, I have to work. I'm hoping I don't have to, but depending on when parts arrive, I may have to. So that's about it, guys. So, you know, I just shared some of the experiences on parts, and again, just try to keep everybody's interest in hot rodding. So if you could, it would be a big plus if you could like and subscribe. It helps this channel grow a little bit so more people can see it. And, you know, hopefully we'll have this one out of here. We'll have the coffin car in here, or the coupe in here, and, you know, a lot more fabrication on those two. Not so much the coffin car, but definitely the coupe is going to have some fab work. I have a independent rear end for the Corvette rear end that I'm going to be mounting in there. So there's going to be, I have brackets that are already made. I already powder coated them. Those are all set. These are all like behind the scenes things that I do. As I have a minute, I have just a list of to-dos, and as long as I have everything, which I pretty much have everything for both those cars, as long as everything is here, I'll try to knock out a lot of that, you know, painting, powder coating. One thing that I haven't gotten into yet, but I think I'm going to on a very small, you know, a very small level, is chroming and anodizing. I may be getting into that, so this way, again, There's no real chroming places here. I know a lot of stuff you could buy already done, but sometimes you get that one-off part that you want to chrome and nobody has it, or you find like really cheap imitations of it. So I think I'm going to get into that, and this way, as I'm doing my projects, I have the, I'm independent at that point, and I could say, okay, let me chrome this real quick. And the process is fairly simple, and I think we're going to get into that. The chemicals aren't as caustic as they used to be. They're environmentally friendly, which is a plus. I believe some of the stuff could just be basically watered down and tossed out, but you got to really read and make sure that that's correct. Some may not be, I don't know, but I believe everything at this point is biodegradable, and it's a plus. You get what you need. The durability, from what I understand, from what I've read from users, and and parts that I've actually seen, durability seems to be there. It all, again, depends on how well you prep the part, how well you polish that part, how long you leave it in to build up the chrome, and it's all about time. As long as that thing is sitting there and you're taking your time with it, it'll come out just as good as a part that you buy. I don't have anything chrome here to show you, but it'll come out just as good as anything that you can purchase. But it's not necessarily for the hardware or whatever, or to save money. It's really not about saving money. It's more or less you got that one part that you want chromed, but nobody makes it. And again, if they do, it's kind of a crappy version of it, and you don't want it because it's a structural part. And this way you can clean it up, polish it up, and you know what? If you screw up, you can strip it, fix your screw up, do it again. You have full control, which is a plus. Having full control over your builds is a plus, because I'm sure a lot of guys, especially in the bodywork end of it, how long do you sit around waiting for your turn? Then your turn comes, and you don't see your car for a year or so. But again, things take time, and the shops that take on this work still have to do other work in order to survive. They can't just do one job and take a year on it. So it's nice to be able to do your own thing. Body-wise, I can handle the body work, I can handle the painting, no problem. I have a couple of the blow-up paint boots, which actually work well. Again, you can buy the fairly inexpensive paint boots, and as long as you do the right modifications to them, and you get that airflow, and the filtration is very important. You got to filter everything that comes out of that boot. You can't send it into the air. Number one, it's not legal, and number two, it's just not a cool thing to do. So as long as you set it up properly and you set up those filters properly, evacuation and fresh air coming in, you can create a cross-draft booth, you'll get good results. I come from the school of where we used to just shoot them in an open-air garage. Not open air as in outside, but inside the garage, just minimal, fans, things like that, But you'll get some amazing results in the inexpensive boots. If you're doing it professionally, obviously you want to go with an expensive boot that has a lot of the things that the inexpensive ones don't have, and also durability. And a lot of the expensive boots, you just kind of blow them up once, and you don't got to keep that air flowing. Just the air that you need to paint and evacuate. But to keep the thing blown up, a lot of them actually will fill up and stay full, for like 6 months at a time. You got to top it off here and there. But so there's a lot of things that you can do yourself. And again, you need room. Again, minimal money. You don't have to get crazy with money. There's paint systems that you could purchase. Eastwood has some pretty good paint systems. From the primer all the way to the final paint and clear, and you can purchase those for a fair price. And it all depends on your budget, all depends on what you want to do. And again, if you do your own body work and you do your own painting and everything else, if you make a mistake, who cares? Go back and try again. There's nothing you can't do if you don't put your mind to it, and it can be done economically. It doesn't have to be like you need to buy, a DeVilbiss gun or $1 million gun. Yeah, those things are great, and there is a difference between a Harbor Freight gun and a DeVilbiss or any of the new modern day guns. There's definitely a difference, but can you do it with a $15, $20 gun? Yeah, you can. You just gotta practice a little bit and you'll get through it. You know, it's gonna spray paint the same as the DeVille Ss. Again, the DeVille Ss will be a little bit better in durability, longevity, stuff like that. You know, basically the Harbor Freight gun is a throwaway gun. But you can care for it and keep it. I'm not saying you got to throw it away after the job. You can do many jobs with it. But, you know, it is what it is. If you can invest in a quality tool, invest in a quality tool. If you're just not there yet to where you can't spend that kind of money, you have other obligations, everybody should totally understand that. You buy what you can in order to get the job done. And, you know, that's basically, you know, what hot rodding is. You just do the best you can. And nobody should be put down for using a cheap gun versus $1 million gun. You know, it's not about money. It's about your passion. It's about getting out there and making your dream or your vision come true. It's got nothing to do with money. Again, I just chose to spend money this way because while growing up, I didn't have options of any type of extra money to do things. I would always have to, even though I always had a job, a decent paying job, I had to save money, you know, for my future. I had to be ready to invest in a home and just kind of live, you know, the American dream. And hot rodding was definitely part of my dream, but I had to do it very economically. And then as I progressed with my work and I went out on my own and everything else, I made the decision to create a little, kind of like a Christmas club. Remember the Christmas clubs in the bank? I kind of created my own little hot rod club. And I would put whatever extra money, if I did a side job when I was working for people, if I did a side job, I would put that money aside. I wouldn't get crazy with it, spending it like mad. You know, I really budgeted my life for a very long time in order to save money to do what I'm doing here now. So once I started getting into this project, I made the decision to go ahead and you know, start pulling from those funds and starting to buy things. I started buying stuff about, believe it or not, like 10 to 15 years ago. And I knew I had, like I said, I knew I had these projects, so I started buying every time I saw a sale at Summit or at Jegs. And Speedway is a great place too for a lot of the stuff that I'm using on the coffin car. You know, a lot of the T-bucket stuff, which you know, which was actually Total Performance at one time, and then the gentleman sold it to Speedway, and because Total Performance was actually right here in Connecticut. I want to say it was in Wallingford, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but I thought it was Wallingford where it originally was. And the painter that works with me, Ed, actually worked at Total Performance, so he was one of the builders back then, and you know, if I ever get in a jam paint-wise, whatever, or I have a question, I could always call him because he's a pro. He's the best. Ed the Painter, look him up. He does a lot of hot rod work, a lot of standard work, a lot of truck lettering. He's probably one of the best. And that's Ed the Painter. You can find him on Facebook. And maybe next week I'll give you the number. I'll post his number, so if you guys got questions or projects, you know, and he has the time because he's really busy, he can help you. So that's about it, guys. So if you could, please like and subscribe, and I'll give you more content next week. Hopefully with a little more progress. It all depends on what happens during my week, because I still have to work. I still have to take care of my customers. That's a little more important than, you know, working on this car. Even though this is an important part to me right now, it's not as important as that. So, all right, guys, just keep everything balanced, and I guess just keep it going, keep trying, and we'll see you next week.